So hi guys, we are back with another video that is we are going to discuss some problems related with the projectile motion, right? So this belongs to the mechanics, right? So this belongs to the mechanics part. In the mechanics part, of course, after linear motions, the graphs part should be completed, and then thereafter we can move on to projectiles, right? So in projectiles, of course, in the class itself, we have discussed few questions. We have discussed the M8, I guess, right? The tute. So we have to discuss few more questions, M9, I guess, in M9. So I will start discussing some questions from the projectiles, some selected questions, right? So which might be somewhat above the normal standards, right? So, I mean, like not very easy, right? So you might have to think a bit, right? So in order to increase that power of thinking, I will just try some questions from this part, right? Okay, right. So it says from the top of a tower of height 40 meters, right? The ball is projected with a speed to 20 meters per second at an angle 30 degrees above the horizontal, right? So from a top of a building of height 40 meters, a ball is projected with a speed 20 meters per second with an angle 30 above the horizontal. Find the ratio of the time taken by the ball to come back to the same height. And that taken to hit the ground, time taken to hit the ground, you have to find the ratio between the time that the ball took to come to the same height and also the time taken by it to hit the ground, right? So let us initially draw a figure, right? So yes, right. So yeah, there is a object, right? So this is now given a velocity, what? A velocity of 20 meters per second. So this would go in this kind of a projectile, right? So it's going to go in this kind of a projectile, and then it's going to come back to its same height. At a certain instance, it's going to come back to its same height, and then once again it will reach the bottom of the it will reach the ground, right? So let us assume the time it started the motion at t equals 0, and the time taken by the projectile to reach the same height, same level. So what they're asking here is like when the object reaches the same height. So initially it's at a certain height. The time taken to for the object to reach the same height, it will reach the same height once again when the object is somewhere here, right? So it's the same height. So let us find the time taken to by the object to perform this projectile motion, right? Let us consider only this projectile motion and try to find answer. A, let us assume this is B, right? So let us assume the time taken to reach to this point is t equal t1, right? So from A to B motion, let us apply how do we find the time taken, the time of flight from A to B projectile? How do we find the time of flight? By considering the vertical motion, we're going to apply S equal from A to B, we're going to consider upward motion, S equal ut plus half A t squared. What is S? S is going to be 0, right? The vertical displacement when it starts from here and reaches the point B, the vertical distance between, not the horizontal distance, right? The vertical distance between A and B points are 0, right? What is the initial velocity? Initial velocity is, have they given the angle? Yes, this is 30 degrees. This is 30 degrees. Initial velocity is what? Initial velocity is 20 sine 30, right? 20 sine 30. So you can write 20 sine 30. Let's write it as 20 sine 30. The time taken is t1. Since it's going up, g over 2 t square. This cancels out, right? So if you subject t1 is 2 into 20 sine 30 is half, divide by 10. These are simplifications, guys. So this is t1 is found to be as 2 seconds. T1 is found as 2 seconds. Now we have found the time taken by the projectile or the object to reach its same height, that is 2 seconds. So that is not what they are asking. Find the ratio of the time taken by the ball to come back to the same height and the time taken to hit the ground. So we need to find the time taken by the projectile to hit the ground. What is the height of this this thing? Building? It's given to be as 40. It hits the ground is, let us assume it to be as C. All right. Okay. So yes, let us assume this point as C. In that case, we need to find the time taken by the projectile to reach from A to C along this path, right? So yes, let us try to find it, right? From A to C motion. So usually when time, they ask something regarding time, we're going to apply, okay, S equals UT plus half AT squared. Do we know the vertical distance between A and C? Do we know the, yes, we know the vertical distance displacement between A and C points. What is the vertical displacement? 40. So since I'm applying it downwards, it is plus 40. What is the initial vertical velocity? U sine 30 upwards, but I'm applying the equation downwards. I'm applying the equation downwards. So therefore, U should be substituted as how? Minus U sine 30. And let us assume the time taken from A to reach to C. Let's assume that is equal T2, right? T2. So yes, T2. So minus G over 2 T2 squared, right? So if you simplify this, because like actually 40 minus 20 sine 30 is half, T2 minus 10 over 2 T2 squared, you're going to get T2 to be as 4 seconds. Actually, when you simplify, you're going to get this as 4 seconds, right? So now what is the time ratio? I mean, like the time taken by the object to reach to the same height and to complete the motion. A to B, time taken from A to B, and A to C is what? A to B is T1, A to C is T2. T1 is 2 seconds, T2 is 4 seconds. So it is 1:2, right? As given in the answer, it should be 1:2, right? Okay, right. So let's go for the next problem. Here it says a shot putter throws the shot. Okay, the you know what shot putt is, right? So a shot putter throws the shot, which is mass 7.3 kg with an initial speed. Okay, the U speed is this much at 30 degrees angle, right? So yes, in that case, so here what they're asking is calculate the horizontal range. Okay, what they're asking is the horizontal range of the shot if it leaves the athlete's hand. Okay, if it leaves the athlete's hand at a height 1.9 above the ground. So it's simply a basic question, but depends on how you interpret it, right? It's like this. The shot put is this, right? The shot put is this. Now this is at a height 1.95 from the ground, right? This is at a height 1.95 meters from the ground, right? So this is thrown with an initial velocity, what? U is equal to 10 meters per second, and which is in an angle 30 degrees, right? So in this case, it's going to go in this way, and it's going to hit the ground somewhere here, right? Let us assume this is the ground, right? It's going to hit the ground somewhere here, right? So if we assume that this point is point A and this point is point B, I mean, let's assume it started at T equals 0, and the time taken by the shot put to reach the point B is T equal T along this projectile trajectory, right? The time taken is, let us assume, T equal T. All right. So yeah, we can find it now, right? So how do we find it? Simply as in the previous case, we need to find the time of flight from A to B. So we have the vertical distance between A and B. we have the vertical velocity. Actually, we can find the vertical velocity by resolving the component of this velocity. We know the vertical acceleration, we need the time. It's pretty easy, right? So from A to B, I'm going to apply what? Vertical downward is equal ut plus half at squared. I'm going to consider, I told you, what? The vertical motion, right? What is the S? 1.95. What is the initial vertical velocity? 10 sine 30. But actually, this vertical velocity is going to be in the upward direction. It's going to be in the upward direction. So therefore, since we are applying the equation in the downward direction, we need to apply it as minus. Minus. Okay, since it's coming down, 10 over 2 t squared, right? 10 over 2 t squared. So if you simplify this, what they are asking is calculate the horizontal range, right? Yes, we need to simplify this and find the time taken first, right? 1.95 is equal to minus 10 sine 30 is half t plus 5 t squared. So this to this, once again it's 5. So t squared minus t squared, right? So simplify 5t squared minus 5t minus 1.95 is equal to 0, right? Let us simplify. Right, so I guess you can do this simplification and find the time, right? So do a small simplification, right? So like, I mean, like you'll have to either use quadratic factorization using there's plenty of methods like completing square, or else like the equation method, or somehow you can find the time, right? So let's not waste the time on calculations. Let's see the concept only. So we have found the time taken by the projectile to reach from A to B, which means we have found the time of flight. We know the time taken by the object to reach from A to B. We need to find this distance. Actually, what we need to find is the horizontal range, right? We need to find the horizontal range. So in that, if you need to find the horizontal range, what we are going to consider from A to B, let's consider the horizontal motion. From A to B, let us consider the horizontal motion, right? So yes, A to B, let us find the horizontal motion. Let us assume we have found this t, right? So let us assume t is equal to something x, right? X. So what we are going to do is, when we consider the horizontal motion of a projectile, we are going to apply always s equals ut, right? S equals ut. So s means r. The horizontal displacement that we need to find is r. R is what we need to find, right? U, what is the initial horizontal velocity? Initial horizontal velocity is what? Initial horizontal velocity is u cos 30, right? So that is u cos 30. T is already found here, right? T is already found. So R can be easily found. 20 cos 30 is root 3 over 2. Time is, actually, we have found x. So if we simplify that, we are going to get an answer as given in the question, right? So 11.258 to 11.258, right? So let's not worry about the simplifications, guys, right? So let us only let's only worry about the concepts, right? So if we know the concepts, we can find any sort of simple calculations, right? So if next problem, if the AR resistance can be neglected, what is the maximum horizontal distance that he can throw the shot? If the AR resistance can be neglected, what is the maximum horizontal range? So if a projectile needs to get a maximum horizontal range, then the projectile should be projected with an angle of 45, right? We already know that. That's theory. So if a projectile needs to have a maximum range, we need to project it with 45, with a 45 angle, right? We need to project it with a 45 angle to 20 meters per second, right? So yeah, we need to find this. We need to find this. Yeah. let's find this horizontal range, the maximum horizontal range now, right? So this is what now? This is R max. This is R max, right? So before we find R max, we have to find the time of flight, right? So if this is D and if this is E, we need to find from D to E, we need to find the time of flight. How do we find the time of flight? By considering the vertical motion, I'm going to apply S equals ut plus half at squared. Why? Because we know the S, for the vertical motion from D to E, if you consider the vertical motion, the vertical displacement is 0. Initial upward velocity is what? 20 sine 45 t. Upwards means gravitation acceleration is negative 10 over 2 t squared, right? We can find t in that case. Let's assume that is y. And if we simplify this, we can find t. Let's assume that value is y. So now we have found the time taken by the object to reach from D to E, right? So that is found. What do we have to find actually? We have to find R max. So in order to find R max, I'm going to consider from D to E, I'm going to consider the horizontal motion and I'm going to apply S equals ut, right? So the horizontal displacement is R max. What is the initial horizontal velocity? Initial horizontal velocity is 20 cos 45, 20 cos 45, right? 20 cos 45. What is the time taken by the object to reach from D to E? We have already found it. We have already found it. Y. It is Y. So if you simplify this, I'm going to get R max as well, right? R max is given to be as what? 11.55 meters, right? If you accurately simplify 11.55 meters, right? So yes, let us go for the next problem. Right. So guys, let us go for the next problem. So this is kind of an MCQ, right? So let's see. What they're asking is 2 bullets are fired horizontally, right? So this is very important. The 2 bullets are fired horizontally with different velocities, right? Okay, they're not going to be the same velocities, different velocities, but the height is the same height. Which will reach the ground first, right? So let us do a simple analyzing part. The same height. Let us draw 2 objects with same height. Bases, right? So now there is 2 objects. Let us assume this is projected with v1 velocity horizontally. This is projected with v2 velocity horizontally. We need to find who reaches the ground first. We need to find who reaches the ground first, right? We need to find who reaches the ground first, right? So the height is the same, h, right? So let us assume this started at t equals 0. Both started at t equals 0. And let us assume this reached the ground at t equal t1. This reached the ground at t equal t2. So shall we find the time of flight? Let's assume this is the first object and this is the second object, right? So let's assume this is the point A, point B, C, D. So in order to find the time taken by the projectile to reach from A to B, what do we have to do? We have to consider the vertical motion and apply equations, right? So okay, A to B what? S equals ut plus half at squared. So what is S here? What is S here? H, right? S is H. What is the initial downward velocity? Initial downward velocity is going to be 0, guys, right? The initial downward velocity is 0. Why? Because it only has a horizontal velocity. If you resolve it, v1 cos 90, it's going to be 0. So simply there's no downward velocity. Downward velocity is the initial downward component is 0. You can't resolve a horizontal component to vertical. So it is going to be 0. Our time is t1 plus half. What is this thing? Gravitation acceleration is g, t1 squared. So t1 squared is 2h over g. t1 is 2h over g. So similarly, from C to D motion also let us do the same thing. From C to d motion downwards is equal ut plus half at squared. Why is this applied? In order to find the time of flight. So what is the vertical displacement from S to D? It's once again h, because both are projected from the same height, h. U is once again 0. Why? Because the initial velocity is horizontal. Half 0 into t, half g t2 squared. So t2 is going to be root 2h over g. So if you see t1 and t2 are the same, right? t1 is equal to t2. Therefore, what should be the answer? The answer should be, okay, sorry, it's not, that's not the answer. Both will reach simultaneously. That should be the answer, right? So remember, guys, when an object is projected horizontally, then the time of flight will depend on the height, the initial height, right? So remember that well. If it is projected with an inclined direction, then of course the initial velocity also kind of will come into play, right? The initial velocity, right? So if it is horizontally projected, then both, it doesn't matter what velocity it is projected with horizontally, always the time taken is going to be the same. So yes. So let us go for the next question. This is an easy question. I just wanted to, like if some of you did have not got the theory well, so you can use this question to get the theory out of this part actually. So there is an important theory that you need to know to solve this question pretty easily, right? So like when it comes to MCQ, like always do not try to get the answer by means of a simplification or calculation. So like if it's better if you can come to the answer based on some arguments as well, right? So let us see how to solve this problem using arguments, right? So okay, it says if a body A of mass m, if a body A of mass capital M is thrown with a velocity v at an angle 30 to the horizontal, and another body B of the same mass is thrown at an angle 60, then the horizontal range, then the ratio of the horizontal range A to B is, they're saying there is an object, right, of mass, of the same mass, right? So there is an object of mass M. This is projected with a velocity v to the 30, right? Okay, let us assume it's going to go to somewhere here, right? So let us assume the horizontal range here is R1, right? And then they are also saying when another object of the same mass is projected with the same velocity but 60 degrees to the horizontal, in that case it's going to be as this R2. Let us assume this is R2. What can you say about R1 and R2? What can you say about R1 and R2? You can easily decide R1 and R2, the ratio between R1 and R2. Actually, you know why? So there is a theory. If you project a projectile, if you project a projectile with 30 degrees, and if you project the same projectile with 90 minus 30, 90 minus 30, that is what? 60, then you are going to get the same range, right? There is a theory. There's a theory. That is what? Simply what they're saying is, just give me a sec. Right. Simply, like for example, if you project something with alpha angle, right? And if you project something with beta angle, then you know what happens. If alpha plus beta is equal to 90, if alpha plus beta is equal to 90, then the horizontal range will be the same, right? If this is, alpha, projected with alpha, and if this is projected with beta, and if alpha plus beta is equal to 90, if alpha and beta are complementary angles, if alpha and beta are complementary angles, then it is said that the range in both these projectiles will be the same. So now can you check this? 30, 60. If you add 30 plus 60, what is it? 90 degrees. It is 90 degrees, which means both have the, like 30 and 60, the angle pairs are complementary pair. This is a complementary pair, which means R1, the range of R1 and R2 will be equal. R1 will be equal to R2. Therefore, R1 over R2 is equal to 1 over 1, which means 1 is to 1. The answer is 1 is to 1. You can go for a calculation and solve as well, but I prefer to solve it with by using the arguments, simple arguments, right? So you can apply, you can find the time of flight, and then like you can find the range equation for the range. You can find the time of flight, and once again the range. Then you will see both R1 and R2 will become equal, right? So yes, remember the theory as well, right?